views, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television for the original broadcast date of, gosh, it's the 16th. My month has gone down the toilet already. All right, January 16th, 2026, leading up to Spawn Scarefest number 1 and Scarefest 17. Is that right, 17? Or around 18 now?
18.
God damn it. Somebody should write this shit down for me. Anyway, sorry everybody. But you know me, I'll never cut that out in post. Anyway, so tonight my co-host is Katie Followell. It seems like forever since you've hosted, Katie.
Ooh, I think it was Shane Pittman.
Yeah.
Was the last time
I'm not saying it was forever. I'm just saying it seems like it.
It feels like a long time.
Life is difficult when you're not on here perking everyone up. See, nobody else has your energy. Nobody else brings what you bring to the table.
Thank you. I bring in Amelia Bedelia quality, but sometimes you need that.
And of course, tonight our guest is the lovely and talented Patti Negri, and I hope I'm saying your name right. I never even ask.
That's it, Negri.
Okay,
rhymes
cool.
with nothing. Rhymes with my whole life. I was born in Negri. It rhymes the word nothing. Vaguely. Rhymes with vaguely, Negri.
I have to ask now because I found out two different people that I've had on the show. First time I came on the show, I found out I've been announcing them for Scarefest and saying their name wrong, and none of the people in the fucking chat room ever corrected me. Not a one. So I'm a little perturbed about that too. Tonight we do have the review of Five Nights at Freddy's Part 2. Joe's reviewing that, and so let's just go on and get to the guest. Everybody, Patti spoke, of course, perfect timing with Annabelle being in the building, and Patti came in and talked about haunted dolls, the care and feeding of haunted dolls, or some silly title like that. I do want to, my first question out of the gate, now I'm not a skeptic. I'll say skeptical things during the show. Let me put it out there. I believe more bullshit than most people deserve to believe. Now, I do want to know, this is something that I've never been able to put together in my mind. I mean, I have ideas. As a psychic medium, how do dolls and other paraphernalia get haunted?
Okay. If you say you are a disembodied spirit, we all believe in spirits. We're in the paranormal. If you don't, but we all believe in spirits. They don't need to have a vessel. But if you are a disembodied spirit and you decided you want to have a vessel, you could go in a jar of water, you can go in a bell, or you could go in something with eyes and a nose and a face. What are you going to do? Eyes and a nose and a face, because then you can express yourself. People will talk to you different. You will be treated different than you will to this little bell over here, or the vase, or the telephone. Not that any of those can't or don't become haunted. They do. But I'd certainly pick something with a doll and eyes and a nose and a face. Wouldn't, yeah.
No, see, I'd be, okay, pardon the expression, I'd be wanting to go commando. I just want to be a free spirit, flit from room to room. But okay, that's a good explanation.
But a lot of Barbie dolls are naked though, so.
If I turn my camera around, I have hundreds of Barbies looking at me. I've been a doll collector my whole life. I had more dolls before I was still in my mother's womb, I think. She started collecting. So haunted dolls, pre-haunted dolls, no haunted dolls. Dolls are my thing. So that's when I wrote my book. I wrote this past year, Dollcraft. I wanted to combine my paranormal world and being a haunted doll expert. I've done seances with Peggy the doll from Zach's museum. I've toured with Annabelle like half the year last year. Robert did all these things. What my knowledge of that, because there is some proper care and feeding of haunted dolls. You don't really want a negative one in your home. Give them to the museum. And my love of dolls and puppets, my witchy side, how to make, magical puppets for health and love and money. So the one thing that brought them together was dolls, my collecting. So that's what I did my book about, to combine my witchy, magical, spiritual, self-help world and my crazy ghost world. But you can, why this story started. That's not where I was going. I was going to say, you could be a free spirit without. I had one of these dolls over here, absolutely not haunted. I had her pretend this is a doll. It's not. This is absolutely not. I was teaching my class. I was looking at my little Zoom screen. Both my hands were on vase, not on this. The doll literally moved 6 inches onto frame. I didn't even notice because I'm looking at the Zoom screen. All my students in the Zoom room noticed the doll moved. We've looked, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. This doll is not haunted. It is not haunted. I could see, I could smell, I could taste, we could tell that I blew up the video, and the other doll that is haunted, Belle, I saw an orb fly out of my bookcase over here into the non-haunted doll, move the haunted doll 6 inches, and then fly out. So either my doll that does have a spirit moved the doll, it's her dolly, it was given to her, or just some disembodied, I'm going commando, I don't need a toaster to live in, moved it.
That actually leads into where I wanted to go with this next. I guess the typical haunted doll, which sounds really, really strange coming out of my mouth. Do spirits generally tend to attach to or haunt a doll that they have a connection to? In other words, something they remember from their youth, or do they just like wander in somebody's house like yours and say, "Ooh, that one's empty"?
Both. I think the answer to that is both. If sometimes, again, you get some, especially those old fashioned, you get the antique, the Victorian mourning dolls, and some little girl. I do believe Belle, my little girl in burgundy back here, for anybody video, I believe she belonged to the little girl that is now haunting her. I have the story, a feeling that the girl lived a not long life and not a good, healthy life. She put her spirit and everything into the doll. And then when she passed away, she went into the doll. I think that can happen a lot, especially with antiques, something so loved. We put our spirit into whatever that is. That's why we wear family members' ashes and carry things. But also, if you're disembodied and you're just cruising through the thrift store, antique store, haunted museum going, I'm going in there. Just like we choose where we live.
See, now, before I toss it over to you, Katie, that goes into my entire thing about why Waverly Hills Sanatorium is haunted still. The place has had more Mendes priests and exorcists and Bobby Mackeys. In other words, I don't think the ghosts are original equipment. I think that us ghost hunters going in these buildings, walking around all night, yelling for ghosts, pull in random energies, and that it's why they're still haunted, I guess is a better way to put it, not why they're haunted. That's just my theory. So,
I agree.
See,
we call it in all the time. Yeah. Okay,
Katie, over to you.
Well, now my brain's rolling because I even though I have all these spooky looking dolls behind me, I'm very interested in haunted dolls and about it. I sat in the room with Annabelle, and truth be told, I didn't feel creeped out, and I was surprised at that. Do these spirits stay in the vessel for forever, like Chucky, or do they leave sometimes and come back, or are they stronger sometimes? Like, because I guess my question is with Belle, that she was loved by that little girl. I could see her being attached to it, but does she ever not want to stay in it?
I would never force a doll to stay. I don't force spirits if we're on a paranormal investigation, if we're doing a seance, if we're doing mediumship gallery, any of that. I don't ever command or demand anything. I don't want to be forced into something. I don't want to force somebody else. So if Belle ever wanted to leave, she would leave. I wouldn't do a binding spell
Yeah.
like that to hold her in. Um, again, I think they just like it. And if they want to leave, I don't think they're there forever. I think spirits have choice. I really do think that. They're energy. They're just energy. Whatever you believe, whatever your belief system, whatever your spirituality, it's energy.
Hmm. What's the strangest haunted object you've ever come across? Because I've started to delve into this within this past year, and I'm kind of like, has there been something weird where you're like, really? That you haunted that?
It was one that I personally experienced, again, because the reason I brought the book is that they can be dangerous. I'm a doll collector. One of my clients had given me it's kind of a statue doll, kind of very voodoo New Orleans looking, and it was fine because I won't have dark in my house. But all of a sudden I noticed I was not hanging out in my office at all. I would take my Mac upstairs or just leave. I'm like, why? I'm looking around all my dolls and like, oh, it's you. It's you. Ah, you can't be here. I could have done stuff I talk about in my book, like a cleansing or this or a banishing. Belle had a horrible spirit on her when I first got her. She horrible. I would not let the sun set. Why she was given to me, and then I'll go back to finish the other story.
Yeah.
A girl in Belgium had seen me doing the Peggy the Doll seance. It wasn't Ghost Adventures, it was a spin-off of Ghost Adventures called Deadly Possessions or something. And she figured if I could handle Peggy, a doll that gave people heart attacks and made them sick, I could handle Belle, who made her sick for 3 years and her little kid. She asked my permission, can I send her to her? She sent her to me, this little Belle. And I had never even done a Facebook Live before, ever. Hadn't even thought about it at the time. This was years ago now. I'm like, I have to put this on Facebook. I didn't have that many followers, and then 50,000 people watched me open that doll on Facebook. They weren't my people. It's the doll drew them in. So I'm like, 50,000 people watching me unbox. I know there's an unboxing thing, but I got her open, and there's this beautiful doll with such a dark spirit overshadowing her. And I knew that there was a good spirit inside, but I honestly would not let the sun set before banishing that negative spirit. I banished the negative spirit. Belle didn't come out right away. I knew she was there, but even with her, I had to keep a little herb. I kept the herb rue in her hand so she didn't make everybody all angsty and unhappy, or turn the gas fire on or something like that, until that other thing could wear off and the good spirit came in. But the one in my house that was like, I can't have this here. So me being me, I called Zach Bagans. I go, Zach, I have something. I won't have dark in my house. It's too dark for me. Do you want it? And he goes, well, what is it? Show me a picture. I'm texting him a picture. He's like, oh yeah, that's a nail fetish hate doll or something like that. I'll take it. Off to Vegas. Gave it to him that day. That doll started acting up that night. The tour guides all told me. And that's where it does belong, not a place where people live and children and animals.
Yeah.
The negative spirit's going to drain you of energy, at the very least.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to hold off on our break because I'll forget. Your book title is, there's a word on it and I'm ignorant. Forgive me. Poppets. What exactly is that? Like, if you were explaining this to a toddler, me, how would you describe it?
I'm going to show. A poppet is a doll. A lot of people mistake it for a voodoo doll. A poppet is a doll used for magic. Hold on 1 second. I'll be back in 1 second. Ooh, the magic of magic. Ooh, the magic of magic. Coming back. Okay. I'm back. This is a poppet. This is a poppet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've seen those around. I didn't know what those were called.
What you would do, it's sympathetic magic. If I'm doing a spell work, maybe I'm going to make one out of green and a money doll, a money poppet to bring me, or maybe I'm going to make one for health. It's sympathetic to represent you. This is my poppet. I've had it for a dozen years. You can see how artsy craftsy it has my name on it. That shows it is me. It wears a necklace I always wear. You put herbs and oils and crystals and things. Like, say, if I hit my head and I got a headache, I don't want the headache. I would give the headache to the doll, not to cure. Literally, yeah. I might stick pins in the doll's head like acupuncture, and it pulls away my headache. Again, you could have one for protection, you could have a health, wealth, make one for your pets. This book has like a million edible ones, clay ones. If anybody remembers the movie Witches of Eastwick, there was one of Jack Nicholson. The girls made it out, Cher and everybody made it out of wax. Honestly, if I pulled the arm off, my arm won't go flying. But they could be made. They've been, every culture forever have used dolls in magic. So a puppet doesn't mean negative at all. Again, I've made all positive. It's been done in every culture forever. It's using dolls in spellcrafting and magic.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect in between, or like connection for you of loving dolls and magic. So that's perfect. Yeah. Well, we are up on our first break of the hour, so I'm going to throw it over to Wes.
Are you a fan of horror movies, books, comics, music, and collectibles? Rue Morgue magazine is for you. Subscribe today to receive 6 or 12 print issues annually and join me, executive editor Andrea Subisati, on an ongoing journey through the horror genre of the past, present, and future. Plus, get access to unmissable special editions such as A Century of Witches, 50 Years of Gore Cinema, British horror movies, and so much more. Rue Morgue, the world's premier horror and culture and entertainment magazine since 1997. Accept no substitute.
And welcome back, everybody, to Scarefest Television. Talking tonight to, I'm going to call you the Doll Master. Actually, the Good Witch. I like that title. The Good Witch. Patti Negri. Okay, some great questions coming in from the chat room. Thank you all so much. Okay, now this guy, I know he meant it to be snarky, but it's actually a damn good question. Jake Godbolt, I'm calling you out. If a doll is haunted, why do they settle for like creeping onto your Zoom screen instead of running about the room like Chucky in the movie? Waving their arms, hitting your microphone, that kind of shit.
Not everything is like you see in the movies, and not saying they wouldn't or they couldn't or that they can't. But as a rule, it probably took a lot of energy to move it 6 inches onto my thing. But I have heard Belle, if I'm upstairs and there's nobody downstairs, so pitter patter of little feet, I have seen her look at people, open her eyes and close her eyes. You know, it's just hard to get as far as TV and films will go with the floating up above thing and coming at you with a knife.
Okay, now I've got 2 questions. Well, actually, let me do one more here from the chat room. Do your dolls talk to each other? Do they communicate betwixt themselves?
Yes. So you have to make sure they get along, just like children or pets. It's like somebody new comes in to the family. You have to make sure, like bringing a new puppy into your old dog, you have to make sure, or get them to know each other, introduce each other. That's why in the book, I even talk about have a haunted doll tea party. It sounds so silly, but everybody's into haunted dolls right now. I'm a doll collector my whole life, but never, and dolls have been popular forever, but never until now have I known more regular adult people, women and men, having doll collections and haunted doll collections. Never like now. So yeah, they need to get each other and they need to get along. I really do. Okay, you're going to be in this room over here and you're going to be in this room. Belle let me know where she wanted to be. I had a cute little antique rocking chair for her upstairs in my living room because she looked cute, my Victorian living room. She hated being there. She wants to be down here where I sit most of the day on my computer screen working with people. They let you know. And they let you know if they don't like somebody. My pets, when she was new, when she still had that bad energy to her, my dog and cat would not go near her. Soon they're getting closer and closer, and now they cuddle up with her.
Oh.
Okay, now from my own deranged mind, couple of things I want to ask you about. Okay, I've always had this thing. My previous vocation in the paranormal field was removing hauntings. Of course, I'm not talking about, dolls. People had hauntings in their house they didn't like. I do the whole crossing ceremony and all that. I do, however, have this little piece of hubris in me that thinks that if I didn't want a spirit attached to something, a doll, for example, then I could break that connection. Now, based on how dangerous would it be to just pop one loose? if you would. And the reason I ask is I've thought so much. We've had haunted doll collections come to Scarefest, and I just thought it would be so funny to walk up to and just fuck up their whole weekend, but turning all the ghosts loose.
I don't know how dangerous it could be. It certainly could be. I've never done that. So you're just saying you're not contained in this doll body. You are free. You're commando.
Yeah. Enjoy your doll while you got it. Yeah.
It could be dangerous, but I think even if it is in the doll, it can be dangerous. If it's dangerous, it can be. It could still.
Honestly, I don't even mean dangerous to like the doll owner.
Or just all.
Yeah, I mean, does the spirit then go, "Oh my God, I've never lived out here"? Okay, let me take one more step. Let's say I go to a garage sale and I buy a doll because I like dolls. I find this old antique doll and I'm buying it because it would look really swell on my shelf. And then I take it home and the son of a bitch is walking around the room overnight making noise, thumping, interfering with my because spirits do like to fuck with the electronics.
Yes, they do.
How do you get a doll unhaunted the correct way? Or do you just live with it, get rid of it? I mean, what if I really like the doll but not the inhabitant?
That's what I did with the spirit that was encompassing the Belle doll. I knew there was two. I don't know if it was a ghost or just a spirit that was created, an egregore or something that was so much darkness, which grows bigger than the ghost. There's different rituals you could do. I work with herbs. I work with oils. Like I said, that to release, to banish a negative spirit. You really can. And again, if it's a nice vessel, I also teach, even in the book, how to call in a positive spirit. You have a hold auditions, have interviews, see who wants to come in.
I like that.
Yeah, it can work. But yeah, it's not that hard, but it takes intent. Everything manifesting or magical takes your intent and focus.
Well, I fully believe that when I got into ghost hunting, that's before I ever even got into the psychic realm, the metaphysical side of it, when I was just wanting to play with blinking lights in the dark. Mm-hmm. When I really became serious about it and brought my equipment into my house, I established my house as a no ghost zone. Not welcome. No. And I don't use my equipment in the house. I never did anything to make them think that they were welcome. The one time I made the mistake of doing it, I had the Ovilus, the one that I had the buttons on it that nobody knew how it worked because they had no instructions. And just to see if I could make sure it was turning on, hold it up under a lamp. I hit the button and the damn thing goes lamp. And it just freaked me out. I said, never again. No, I broke my rule. Now, I don't know that a ghost did that. It may just be the energy signature. It knew that was electricity. I have no idea. But, yeah.
Yeah, I keep my house pretty warded most of the time. I did have one incident. Again, that's why I don't have negative. And I don't know that a haunted doll would be a bigger portal than your ghost equipment is. Whether you have a K2 meter or dowsing rods, or even people work with your pendulum and stuff. It's Ouija boards, of course. I've safely used Ouija boards since I was a kid. Though I did have one person burst into flames while using it. Other than that, it's been very safe. Yeah.
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 You should sell tickets to. Katie, over to you.
So I've decided that when I haunt a doll, because it's likely that I would haunt a Barbie doll. Do you have any haunted Barbie dolls? Is that something is that like a thing? Because I love Barbie.
I love Barbie, and I think you should haunt a Barbie doll. I think that's great. I have never, again, like I said, I'm a Barbie collector. I have never had a haunted Barbie doll, but I think that's because of my belief system. She is the ultimate goddess, so she doesn't she has her own spirit. The spirit of Barbie to me is so big. But a Barbie would love somebody like you and a Barbie if you are going to go into spirit.
Gosh, that would be so cool. I've also decided I was going to haunt my old workplace, so I've got to do that too.
That's good.
So a lot of people, I'm a ghost hunter too, and the question I get the most is this fear of people bringing something home with them. I'd love to go ghost hunting, but I'm very scared that something will follow me home. And I wondered, what's your advice when people ask that? Like, because I always say, why would they want to go with you? I mean, because I've never had that occur as far as I'm aware. What would you say to somebody who's scared?
I would say that could happen, and that does happen. Why it does, it's like, ooh, here's this night. Ooh, this Katie's got high energy. I'm going to go home with her. This is great. But it's easy to not. Again, it's consciousness, it's intent. So when you leave your haunted, just say, thank you very much. I always introduce myself on the way. Thank you very much. You stay here, or you don't have to stay here, but you can't come with me. Again, they can't go. You can't. I will ground myself afterwards. I always make sure the portal on my back of my head is closed. I don't want to be channeling that. This you want open, your third eye, so you can sense and see, and everybody a little more intuitive. But the one at the back of your neck, you want closed, that little portal back there. So I literally, I walk in and go, you are not, I just say it. You are not allowed to go with me. You might Palo Santo yourself or do anything like, there's a million little herbs, oils, things, tricks, bells, all that stuff that you can use to do. But it's in your intent and in the statement. And speak out loud. Saying it in your head, spirits can hear it. But as soon as you say it out loud with your voice, sound has magic. Sound has magic, and the universe hears it. And as soon as you say it out loud with your voice, breath comes out. Your breath is your life force. It's your pneuma, it's your prana. That's your life force talking. Even the moisture in your breath is your free will. So it's your life force and your free will saying, you must stay here. You can't come with me. It'll work that easy. It's just most people don't. If you're scared, you're going to come home with me. Oh, and if they like you scared, they're really going to come with you. Negative spirit wants you scared, wants you. So yeah, not hard, just has to be conscious.
Okay, so now you're talking about different types of magic, and then that's opened a whole thing, because this is something I've been very interested in recently. I've had a conversation with a local psychic who said that I had fairy energy, and we talked about how nature is magic, and so sound is magic. What does everything have magic?
Magic is everywhere. You just have to look sometimes. I think I wrote that on one of my books. Yes, everything is energy. We know that. Movement. Nothing is solid. 7th grade science. This isn't solid wood. It's moving little atoms. Blah, blah, blah. The spirit world is magic. Our world, the stuff we could see and not see, all the different dimensions. I think magic is everywhere, and it certainly is in nature. That's why the whole witch community or pagan community or natural take care of our Mother Earth. But yeah, fairy energy is great. And I could totally see you having fairy energy. So get outdoors a lot. It'll feed your soul, like going to the gas station for your heart and soul. Go to the edge. Fairies live at the edge of day, edge of night, sunrise, sunset. They live at the edge of the path, edge of the road, edge of this. Bribe them, give them honey and cream and whiskey, and they will bring a lot of laughter and joy into your life. They might steal your earrings more often, but
well, I actually have a lot missing, but I just thought it was me losing them. But no, it's interesting. I had this very vivid dream, or not, or at least I wasn't sure if it was a dream or a memory from my being a baby and seeing something that in my mind I interpreted as like a lightning bug in my room next to my crib. And it's always stuck out to me. I've never forgot it. And I asked her, and she was like, that was a fairy. And I was like, okay.
And it was a fairy.
Made total sense.
Yeah, fairies are great. My best fairy story. I was in Ireland, where fairies come from.
Yeah,
they have more respect and even a fear of fairies than we do here. Our fairies seem nicer than Ireland. They love them too, though. But I was at a literal fairy farm. It was organic farmer, the guy with the sheeps and the goats and the everything. A real fairy mound, real fairy fort. You had to ask permission of the fae to go in. And you did. We gave them gifts. You felt it. There was a fairy tree, which you went in, and they had hanging beautiful things. I went in, and it's like altered state, beautiful. I walked outside. I'm looking around going, I'm the most beautiful place I've ever been on earth. To the right of me was this beautiful stallion horse on my right. To the left of me was this cow, literally a cow, beautiful stallion horse, cow. In front of me was the fairy tree with a dozen people who were doing what I had just done. I went, I am the luckiest girl in the world. I closed my eyes. I opened my eyes. The tree was gone. The horse was now on my left and the cow was on my right. They hadn't moved. The Fae, which is such a, literally picked me up and turned me around 180 degrees without me knowing it or feeling it. Just like that.
That's awesome. Like,
it's awesome. I'm like, yes.
So I've just started researching that because I've also always heard like never mess with the Fae. So like
respect. Yeah.
Yeah. We are actually on the half-hour mark, and that means that it is guest announcement time. And Adrian hyped me up last night, so it's not Tobias Forge, but I'm excited to see.
Announcements. A terrible death to die. A terrible death to die. A terrible death. A terrible death. A terrible death to die. Announcements.
Okay, tickets for Scarefest Weekend 2026 go on sale February 1st at 7 p.m. Excuse me. If you're a returning Platinum, Golden VIP, or Weekend Plus pass holder, you should have received an email this week. If you have not received an email, contact Scarefest via info@thescarefest.com. Do not click Messenger. Do not send any of us a private message. info@thescarefest.com. Now let's do some human announcements. Heather Matarazzo is joining us for Spawn of Scarefest. You know her from Scream 3 and Hostel Part 2, and outside of horror from the cult classic Welcome to the Dollhouse. Fan favorite, and we're really excited to have her with us June 5th through 7th at the Griffin Gate Marriott. Excuse me again. Okay. For Scarefest weekend, Christine is returning to Lexington. One of our most requested attractions. Bill Gibson is bringing his fully restored, screen-accurate Christine along with his mobile Christine Museum. Yes, it's the car. That's a long story. It's the car, but it's not one car. It's like made out of a dozen cars that were on camera. And yes, it's as cool as you're hoping it is. Next up, let's add to the Evil Dead franchise with Jane Levy. From Evil Dead to Don't Breathe to Castle Rock, she delivered some seriously intense performances, and you can see her and fellow cast members this October. And last and certainly not least, for our metal fans, and Adrian in particular, Corey Taylor is coming to Scarefest weekend, frontman of Slipknot and Stone Sour, one of the most recognizable voices in the music industry. If this one doesn't do it for you, I don't know what to tell you. Finally, she got rid of all the feminine text in the announcements. Also, I do want to give everybody a reminder, if you want to host a workshop at Spawn of Scarefest, those applications are online. Just go to spawnofscarefest.com, find the link, because if you start trying to type in tinyurl.com, you'll just fuck it up. Spawnofscarefest.com if you're interested in presenting a workshop or seminar. And let's give Barb her little plug for the night. This week on Fear of the Talking Head, Barb is joined by Chad Jennings of Bonehead Weekly. They have a double feature chat on the psychological body horror film May and the Australian creature feature Boar, B-O-A-R. So that's what's going. You can find it on YouTube tonight. Look for at Fear the Talking Heads. And a little plug. You've seen some of the neat stuff I've been doing with the show, some of the graphics, some of the music, and I do all that with AI because I'm cheap, and rather than pay $20 a month for ChatGPT, I go to Galaxy.ai, find the link on scarefestradio.com, so we at least get a thank you for pointing it out to you. All right, back to our guest, Patti Negri. Okay, I'm about off the dolls now. Because, your website, I could do an entire show just going through your website. I'm going to put that out there. You've got your books, and I don't want you to do any spoilers so people won't come to your seminars. But I do want to ask about some of your books and speeches that you do.
Yeah.
Okay, I do have one more doll question though. So in
Okay.
the chat room asks, do dolls ever just get like bored with where they're at and then say, oh, I want that doll instead? Just, leave the redhead doll and move to the blonde. Just on their own.
I think they could. I have not had that experience, but there's no reason that they couldn't.
Yeah, okay.
Good question. I think that's a good question. Yeah.
See, I'd buy it because we get tired of an apartment. We just, we load up and move.
Get a new car. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Books and articles. Money magic for a prosperous 2026. Give me a quick nutshell version of creating abundance, money magic for the coming year.
Money is so easy. Money, we make it hard. Our whole country, our whole
You're
culture.
really making me feel bad right now. So just keep going.
We turn it into the almighty dollar. It's not all, it's a piece of paper. Actually, it's a piece of cloth. It's not almighty. We make it the struggle, the work, the earning. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with struggle and work and earning, but we've turned it into this unattainable, hard, only the certain few. It's just energy, like caffeine in your coffee energy. So I have lots of techniques because you have to change your thought pattern. Again, science and psychology is in almost everything. Getting into the neuroscience, it has to be. You have to believe it. Mind, body, spirit. That's every 20,000 books. Mind, you have to believe that you could do something and that you deserve it. The deserving is mind. Body, you have to take action. You got to get off the couch. Spirit, that's the magic. That's the battery that makes it happen. So it's changing your thought form, doing things like the oversimplified 9 $1 bills. This is feng shui because I'll take from every 9 $1 bills wrapped in a red string in the left back side of your refrigerator. 9 $1 bills. You always have cold hard cash. Funny, goofy. People, it's a great conversation piece. Don't put it in the freezer. You don't want to freeze out your money. Always cold hard cash. Yes, there's magic to it. That's the spirit of putting these dollars. Back left corner is the money corner. But every time you open your refrigerator, go, I've always got cold hard cash. You say it, you believe it, you see it, and soon you do. That's it. My favorite one also is who likes money? Let's go back to Ireland. Leprechauns. Leprechauns. Money is easy. Money is fun. A pot of gold at the bottom of the rainbow, the pot of gold. We all need to have a little bit like a leprechaun. So get yourself a leprechaun money pot. It could be an envelope that says leprechaun money pot on it. It can be a little box. It could be a leprechaun money pot from anything. Right, leprechaun. Whenever you have spare money, throw it in. Just like, and it's going to grow. It's going to grow. When I first started mine years ago, it was when I had more of a cash business. People would come see me. And it's like, I'm going to collect $100 bills. I didn't own one at the time. So I took a $1 bill, added 2 zeros of Sharpie on it, said, here's my first $100 bill. And then just throw in money whenever you can, whatever it is. But often because money is easy and money is fun. Money, it comes to me on the run. Every once in a while, often at first, take that money out. Again, it's very embarrassing when you have 3/4 and $2 bills. Roll around in it, throw it on the bed, roll in the shug rug, going, money is easy, money and fun, money, it comes to me on the run. And you keep adding and you keep adding. You're changing your mindset. You're doing real spell crafting magic. Now, soon it was like, I have whatever I want in my money pot. It's real. Once it was like, oh my God, I need $600. I need a new computer. It's like, I have it in the money pot. That's crazy. And then who knew that termites had been eating my deck? I live in the Hollywood Hills, crazy old 100-year-old house. I need $6,000. I had it in my money pot. Years of collecting. Changing your attitude changes your actions, change your reality. But my best one that I'm most famous for in my video, I need to redo it. My original one is on YouTube, a lot of views. My dollar money spell, and it takes a sacrifice. It takes a sacrifice of $1 bill. It is a felony, by the way, because again, it's a sacrifice. You're burning it up, but you won't get
for entertainment purposes. Continue.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll never say that. I will, but yeah, you won't get arrested for burning up a dollar bill unless you, I guess, take it to the FBI and want to get reimbursed. But again, get rid of everything that you want that's in the blocking it. Oh, my dad said you're emotionally, mentally burn it up, whatever. Then, you could use herbs and all, but Get that dollar bill. And with passion, passion fuels every kind of magical working or spell. Right. What you want. It could be $1 million, $1,000, paid off college debt, new car, new computer, bigger apartment, passionate. You want sweat dripping down. If you're just writing a new car, that's not what you're going to get. You have to put your passion into it. That's everything that fuels it. Write it down. Look at the words, empower the words. You're going to roll it up towards you, kind of like you're rolling a joint, towards you, not away from you, towards you. Maybe use some herbs and oils, and then you're going to burn the heck out of it. You're going to, over your cauldron, over your stove, over whatever. And again, it could be anything. Money here, money now, money come to me, money here, money now, money you just be, chant, jump up and down, hit a drum, dance, down, watch it burn up. It's such a trip to burn money. It burns like, not like paper at all. It isn't paper. You watch those little presidents' heads go away. I have never not done it and not got a windfall of some sort. I get here from people all over the world all the time. It works. Again, you're sacrificing the dollar bill. I don't sacrifice animals. I don't sacrifice anything living, not plant, but I will gladly sacrifice this stupid thing we've given this power to of the almighty dollar. It works. Change your attitude, change your life, change your ad. And again, the magic is the 1/3 of it. The herbs you use, the oils you use, the passion you put into that little pen that you're writing on. It could be that simple.
Katie.
Wes, that's how I'm going to get Tobias Forge to come to the Scarefest, is I'm going to do that.
Make it, my other half of my haunted doll book is about puppets. Again, make a money puppet, make it out of green, make it out of funny, Monopoly money or something. And if you really can't burn a dollar bill, I think you should be brave. But if you really can't, you could use play money, you could use fake money, but real money works better.
I'll tell you, my eyes keep getting drawn to Belle back there. Like I keep staring at her. I don't know if
she loves you.
Yeah, I feel her. So I think one of the first things you said to me when I approached you guys at Scarefest, like, hey, my name's Katie. I'm over here for meeting. You guys were like, you have really good energy. So can you read energy or do you read tarot, or what kind of things do you offer to people?
I read potatoes. No, I read everything. Yes, I read tarot because they're a jumping off point for us. It's, yes, you have the cards. I have the cards right now. I read tarot, but I read energy. I see energy. Since I was a kid, everybody talks about auras, and I see the cords that we have that's attaching to everybody. I could drive by a holy place, whatever it is, a church, a park, a temple, and see that energy coming out. I could see it. You're really intuitive. Of course, you'd have to be in this. You're really gifted. All your senses are very heightened, right? Mm-hmm. Again, we're all affected by color, sound, music, taste, smells, but you super are. To me, that shows you have the gift.
It's something I picked up on the older I've gotten, because like I was trying to explain to my friend Beverly, I was like, I can sense if somebody's like got good vibes, like I have a good gut reaction to stuff. But I was wondering, like, so when people come to your booth at Scarefest, what kind of things could they expect? Could they talk to you and have a energy reading, or? I
rarely do readings at conventions. Again, never say never, but because I'm so focused what I do. Yeah. If you want a reading, I'll talk to you day and night, 8 hours straight, and do whatever, but it's like bombarded, and I'm not going to give you my best. I'll read you tomorrow. We could do it by Zoom. It doesn't matter where in the world we are. Most of my clientele is not even anywhere close to my time zone. But I'd rather just use that to talk to people versus go into trance state. That's why at the conventions, I usually, whether I do galleries or seances or workshops where we do stuff like that, then we do it. But otherwise, it's just chaos. And I will leave that for all the local readers who come in and want to do readings and stuff like that. So
that's a good thing, because like I love to go to galleries and just listen, and it's so fascinating. And even if things aren't up to you, you could really use it for yourself. And I love that. We are actually on the 3rd break, and so it is time for Joe with Bonehead Weekly.
I know a lot of you all love these movies. Oh, in these video games, the fact that I can talk about Bonnie, Freddy. The reason I can is because of a little guy that lives in my house. Well, it doesn't matter his name, but my son. What I have done with the Five Nights at Freddy's, or FNAF, for you YouTubers out there who are just so enthused about this franchise, is that I have used it as a carrot at the end of the stick to get him to read graphic novels. And some of you are out there going, oh my God, you're the worst parent ever. What a terrible dad. He's 8. I agree. The movie is Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Apparently, it's kind of a posh, whatever, hodgepodge. Apparently, it's a hodgepodge, if you will. Some of it's a little bit of this, some of it's the second game. Apparently, I'm told some security breach stuff's in it. If you play the video games, you're going to love the movies. I will say this, that if I had watched the movie without knowing anything about the universe, without being just bombarded with Five Nights at Freddy's information so much from this little guy, then the movie would have been even worse. So it's okay if you've seen or know some stuff about the universe. If you've never seen or know nothing about the universe, I don't know why you'd watch these movies. I don't. They're not great. And this one's worse. It does have McKenna Grace from Ghostbusters. It has a couple of other. Wayne Knight is in it. He's thin now, so most people don't remember him. There's a couple of good scenes in it. Overall, the amount of technology that goes into these animatronics, I'm not talking about in real life when they build them, because they're all built by the Jim Henson Creature Shop, and those are the best things about the movie, is the animatronics. Josh Hutcherson and all. Oh, nobody is really giving it their all in these films. And the thing that's most unbelievable about these movies is not necessarily the dead children and all these other things, is the amount of technology that it would take to actually build these stuff if this was working in real life. And on top of that, how many pizzas you'd have to sell at your Chuck E. Cheese pizzeria to be able to pay for that. None of that makes sense. Why am I the only one sitting there watching a Five Nights at Freddy's movie thinking about the economics, the business model of what's going on here? Because that's exactly what my middle-aged mind is thinking about the whole time, which means that I'm really not vested into this movie. So, should you watch Five Nights at Freddy's 2? Electric Boogaloo? Sure. If you like the first one and you love the series and you love the video games, you've probably already seen this mess. If you've never seen any of that, will you enjoy this? I don't know how. I really don't. I don't know how you can find this accessible if you haven't seen the video games, because the story itself makes little to no sense unless you know kind of the rest of the world. When I used to criticize the Harry Potter films because I tried reading the book and didn't care for them, it's like, well, if you read the books, it's like that. Yeah, the movie needs to be accessible for people. And by the way, there's a couple of movies I love that I realize are also not as accessible if you haven't read the book. So I get it. So should you see Five Nights at Freddy's? You've already seen it. Five Nights at Freddy's, you've already seen it. So do I like it? No. But this is my compliment. My kid's into it, and it makes him read. And whatever gets my kid to read, short of anything bad, but any kind of fiction, especially gateway horror, which I've talked about on here before, because Five Nights at Freddy's is kind of a gateway horror film, like Poltergeist and things like that. Monster Squad. Anything that gets my kid to read, I support. So check out Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's a mess. It's not good. But if you like the franchise, where else are you going to see a giant robot chicken?
Catherine Hale Stringfield is an author and educator from Eastern Kentucky, known for her novel, The Mary Luck Tales, Witch's Curse, the first in a trilogy. Her writing reflects her roots in the Appalachian region, blending personal history with imaginative storytelling. At Scarefest Weekend in 2025, she presented From Scottish Witch Trials to Appalachian Granny Witches, an evolution of witches and their craft. Join Wes and Chad this week on Scarefest TV as they talk to Catherine about this fascinating topic that has deep roots in our own local history.
And welcome back, everybody, to the final segment of Scarefest Television for the evening.
Well, I had a question, because I think you'll understand this, that the energy in our country and world right now is really funky. you know,
Yeah.
no description needed. Everybody would agree with that.
Yeah.
How are some ways that our viewers and just people can raise the vibration and bring some good vibes to people when we need it the most?
That is the best question I've ever been asked. That is actually the reason I created my first book, Old World Magic for the Modern World. We are off balance. The whole world is off balance. The country's off balance without getting, but we need balance. When we're off balance, we don't even make the right choices or think or this, and we can't focus. I'm an elemental witch. You don't have to be a witch or elemental, but Mother Nature, like gravity, holds us down. So everybody heard of air and fire and water and earth and all that. If we put that into our human bodies, our earth is who we are, our persona. Oh, that's Katie, a gray woman, whatever that is. Oh, that's what our home, that's our earth. Our fire is our passion, creativity, love, sex, gods, all that gets us up in the morning, who we are and what drives us, north and south. But where we get off balance is west and east, like an airplane going like this, like a boat going, West is water. It's our emotions. Our body is almost 70% water. Water has to flow, not be judged, stuffed down, ignored. And air is our thoughts, our focus, our clarity. And air is attached to breath. Nobody breathes well anymore, right? We went through a couple of years of wearing masks. And now we're always in a hurry. We're breathing fast. Yes, we deep breathe in our once a week yoga class, or we're always breathing short and hollow. And that will get us completely off balance. So whenever we're off balance, it'll make us not as happy as we should or could be, not as productive as we should or could be, or not as conscious as we should or could be. We don't want to be, which is what the world's done to us with the phoned in, automatic pilot, by rote, asleep at the wheel. We don't want to be any of those. This is life. So the next time you're not where you want to be, just go, which element is out of balance? Maybe it's your emotion. Often it is. Somebody flipped you off on the highway. You had an argument with somebody. That is your water element. Water is what you need, literally, running water. Think how good you feel after a shower, right? No matter what. The shower makes things better. It's like an aspirin takes away a headache. You don't know how or why, but you can't jump in a shower, but you could all the time, but you can always find running water, sink, bathroom, workroom, pour a bottle of water on your hands, hose. If you mind, body, spirit philosophy, which is creation, working, dispatch, the way I work in witchcraft, walk up to that sink, turn on the water, mind. With this water, I'm going to release this anger, angst, fear, confusion, whatever it is. Mind, body, stick your hands, literally, everybody knows Reiki masters, you have power in your hand, put your hands underwater. The water is the spirit. The water is the aspirin for the headache. Within 30 seconds, you will healthfully release the angst or fear or whatever it is, healthfully. Not hold it in your jaw or hold it in your belly or hold it in the weight of the world. Done. So then if you need to deal with the person, now it's like, well, this is why I'm mad at you. You could be civil. But that's one half of what we do is always, it's our emotions are off balance. We're angry what's going on. We're scared what's going on. But the other one is air. How many of us get chatty brain all the time? How many of us get foggy brained all the time? It's like, I can't think straight. I don't know what to do. That's I'm going on this fabulous podcast. I can't think straight. That's our air. We have to breathe. To be able to do it in 30 seconds, a few minutes of breathing, but 30 seconds, I add sound. Sound is magic. Just like I was talking about having bells, whatever you want to do. Vocal sounds is hecka work. Every sound we make actually has an effect on us. Every vowel, every consonant, form and function. That's why we do things that rhyme. That's why you do hymns in church, this and matching up. I'm not going to give you a lesson in heckas, but vowels will clear the head. Any vowel, any order. If you think about it, pretty much every sacred word is a vowel. Amen. Om. Native American. Hey-ya, hey-ya. East Indian. It opens up this crown of illumination. So if you're going, oh my gosh, I'm going on with Katie in this West and I can't think straight. Whether you're talking to God or you're talking to your brain cells or your mind or the element of air itself, with this 30 seconds of deep breathing, 30 seconds of vowels, I need to call in that focus and clarity, whether you're ah or om or E-I-E-I-O with your kid. Within 30 seconds, that chatter will stop, the fog will lift and the clarity come. Those two things, water and emotions and thoughts and emotions are what get us every time. What do we need more than anything to survive? Water and air, more than either a few minutes or a few days. It changes everything. I've literally seen people get off depression meds and everything just doing these. Sometimes we're not grounded, especially paranormal people, especially gifted people. Wait, come back to your body, Katie. You leave your body. We all that's grounding. Hug a tree. But if you can't hug a tree, literally grab your crystal, grab a number 2 pencil. This still has the spirit of that tree. Breathe into it, hold it. I feel it like an earthen blanket wrapping around me. You get grounded back in your body. And for fire, that, you know, if your fire's too high, you're argumentative, you're angsty, you're agitated. You don't want it too high. When your fire's too low, you're lethargic, you're uninspired, you're tired. You don't want that. So to balance it out, either way, dance around a bonfire. But if you can't do that, you're at work, you're what the heck of the sound for that fire energy to balance it out either way is Z. Zzz. You know, ask any 8-year-old, what does a bee sound like, Bobby? Zzz. That's the lightning strike. That's the dragon breath. So, okay, maybe you have a date with your honey and you're not feeling it. You need more fire. Or spiritual work too. That's even the Holy Spirit of Christianity. That's the fire. Or maybe you're just tired. You've got to get up extra early, or you have too much going on and you got to pull it down. Again, whether you're talking to the element of fire itself, or your beating heart, or the breath of a dragon, or Poele volcano, or the Holy Spirit, whatever it is, the element of fire, with this 30 seconds of deep breathing, 30 seconds of zzz, I need to balance out either direction, the element of fire. So 30 seconds of zzz, that was like 3 seconds. It's a long time. You might get dizzy. That's okay. Sit down. But within 30 seconds, that energy will balance out. You'll feel it, the Kundalini energy in the base of your spine start coming up your spine, and you'll have the fire, passion, creativity, energy, whatever you need, balanced out either way within 30 seconds. Those 4 things in your back pocket, you could do them anywhere. They're 100% free. And they work. It's just bringing that balance. When we're balanced, then we can think straight, act straight, talk straight, whatever we need to do. The whole world's off balance. We're off kilter, everything. So those are, again, work for everybody. It's amazing. What a great question, Katie. Thank you. And I went through my speech.
No, that's a good one though. It's thought provoking. I typically always go into singing mode. That even if
singing is brilliant, because singing, you're using your breath. It's sound magic. It's just like it's a heck of work in itself. But a lot of people do it naturally. It's like, oh, that's why I like washing dishes so much after a fight. Yeah, that's why. You don't even know why. Or we do the breaths and the vowels. Oh, wait, I am doing that. And I'm focused now. We do it, a lot of it.
I was sitting here thinking, I was like, man, that's so good that I did all those years of musical theater. And I was, me, may, mama, moo. Like,
that's magic.
That's
that
awesome.
Is magic.
Oh. Wes, do you have any questions to wrap us up?
I got one for you. I'll start with you. Now that you're out here saying you're an empath, Katie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What kind of energy do I give off in person? I'll even make it easy.
You've always felt very calm and real to me. I don't know if I'm saying the right words, but like I've always connected well with you because you're funny and you fuck around, and I like that. I work well with that. So that's why I'm glad that I'm on your team. So
now I want to add to what Patty said about, okay, I dropped out of the paranormal field almost entirely roughly 9 years ago. If people want to do the math and figure out what world event, but it wasn't because of what people would automatically think. I saw all the positive people in my life, the healers, the light workers, shamans, all these people went negative just almost overnight. I remember there was a thing that witches were trying to do a mass spell to make a certain person die. And that energy hit me like a truck. And so I shut myself down, got out of it. So I think a lot of what you were saying there is, until the greater population of normally positive people learn to be positive again, this is where we are. And I think
it's nice though that we all watching this can set the example to help other people learn how to be positive. And that's I think what matters the most to me is that we can all learn together. how to change our mind.
Can. And all these people being positive, we will click it. We can. We have to. Magic thing that everybody needs besides the bell. Get some bubbles.
Yeah.
Kid bubbles. Blow your wishes into the world, because again, it's using your breath. I gave was my Christmas present this year. And I told everybody, world peace, world joy, whatever it is, stop war. This is what I just give it out into the universe every morning when you go walk your dog.
That was the moral of my story, was if people would wish the positive instead of wishing the negative to get to their positive, I think the world would be a much better place today. That's the most hippie
100%.
thing. That's the most hippie thing I've ever said.
I agree. We don't need to do I'm a good witch. I use that term because you can get everything you want from positive magic. You can. You don't need to. Why would I sit and live in a world where you send out hexes and curses? Because I have to live in that world. Send out love. That's
and it's just, it doesn't make you feel good, or it doesn't make me feel good to be negative. That's something I love to bitch. That's my favorite. But I've just come to realize, I don't want to, it sits with me wrong. And then I'm miserable. And then I'm hateful. And that's no fun.
Yeah,
I've never seen you hateful.
You haven't hung out with me at the table long enough.
That's
funny. Patti, I want to thank you so much for doing the show tonight. We're looking forward. Everybody, we are in the process of getting Patti back, whether it's this year or next year, whatever. She will be back on the Scarefest agenda. If you're playing the home version, PattiNegri.com, PattiNegri.com. And we didn't even get to talk about your podcast, The Witching Hour with Patti Negri. So yeah, there's a lot more to this lady than what we was able to cover tonight.
Everybody read her books. This is coming from your Scarefest librarian. Start your year off with a good book.
Thank you, librarian. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Katie. Honor to be here.
Thank you. And everybody, we'll see you next week.